Okay, everybody, we're here with Kirsten Limmer. She is the founder of Reps Tracker, Real Estate Professional Status Tracking System. So I'm going to let Kirsten go ahead and explain her background and how she got started with Reps Tracker and what it's for and her position as it relates to real estate. And this is going to be really, really interesting. So go ahead, Kirsten, I'll let you have it.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So nice to be here. Nice to see everybody or meet everybody. Like she said, my name's Kirsten. And so I am a real estate investor. I do have a little bit of a varied background, which I'll tell you about. And so I actually am a physician, and I'm also a scientist. I have an MD and a PhD in molecular biology. Obviously that is way outside of the realm of real estate investing, but I have been a real estate investor for several years now. And how I got started on this particular pathway is during the pandemic. I have 3 young children who all of a sudden were not allowed to go to in-person school. And so they were all homeschooled and virtual schooled. And my husband is also a physician as well. So we both had to decide which one of us was going to stay home with the kids. And so we decided that it would be me and that I would work in the hospital on the weekends and stay home with the kids during the weekdays. You know, being a kind of a busy, pretty academic person, I loved homeschooling my kids, but I started to feel like, well, maybe this is not exactly, you know, not all I want to do right now. And so I started to get much more involved in my real estate investing and started to do much more real estate investing from afar. And with this particular, this combination that we had really haphazardly landed ourselves in, you know, with a husband who's working full time, with myself working very part-time at that point, and with real estate investments that were really blossoming and our portfolio was getting much bigger, we realized that we were in a very good position to declare real estate professional status that year. And so I started looking around. You know, I took lots of tax courses, and, you know, being a pretty academic person, I read a lot of tax books. I'm going to just show you my favorite. It's a
little blurry. So
my Zoom blur is, here we go. There we go.
The book of advanced tax strategies. Okay.
Real estate investor. This is my husband would make fun of me because for months I would just walk around with this book, like, I'm going to read this passage again. It's really interesting.
So you're self-taught.
Yes. And I actually love like the tax code. And it was just, I actually think it's just really fascinating.
You're my people, Kirsten.
So, and I also took a course but I was really struck by the fact that in declaring real estate professional status, although it is so emphasized in how important it is to document your hours, and really in the case of the audit of an audit, not the audit, in the case of an audit, an unfortunate case of an audit, to be really able to show that you had all of these time entries, that you participated in your real estate, you have evidence for that, all of this stuff. I was so struck by the fact that there was no time tracking strategy out there. There was, except for Excel and you know, notebooks. And I talked to my CPA, who's like this like guru real estate CPA, and I was like, please just tell me, like, I'll do anything, just tell me where I should be tracking these. And she was like, I don't know, like, get a notebook or write it on Excel. It's fine. Like, just
I'm not CPA. I used Excel until I found you, and I was like, you know, oh my God, this is a dream come true.
Yes. And I, you know, and I do have an entrepreneurial experience and kind of more importantly, spirit. I just like, you know, I'm one of those people that if there is a gap in the market, like, then you fill it, because nobody, or else in 10 years from now, you're going to be like, why didn't I do that? Because I knew that existed. So I was like, okay, this is a very clear gap in the market. I've done everything to try to find a different way to track my real estate professional hours, and it's clearly not out there.
And when you were researching real estate professional status, what did you find as far as your income and the tax code?
Oh, yes. So good question. So do you mean like the kind of background about how you should?
How it affects your tax liability, right?
Yeah, yeah. Such a powerful tax strategy. And I will back up and kind of talk a little bit about that. So the thing with real estate professional status is that, you know, we're all probably most of your audience that's listening are real estate investors. So really our goal here is we want cash flow, right? Like we want positive cash flow. We want our investments to do well. So great, right? We've got this
Great
positive
tenants.
yes, great tenant. Yeah, great tenants, no headaches, all of that. Like we want that. And that's awesome. That should be your number one goal. But you know, on the flip side, as we all know, as we start generating this positive cash flow, your tax bill goes up, right? Just a function of being a person in society.
Mhm.
And but as real estate investors, we are really poised to be able to use those real estate investments and offset our tax bill. So we want to see positive cash flow, but we want to use all of those strategies that we can use
Right.
as real estate investors, depreciation, all of these write-offs, all expenses, to be able to show a loss on paper.
Right.
And that does not necessarily mean like, in case there's any people listening out there, that does not mean that you are losing money. That
Right.
just means
Right.
that you
A
are
tax
able
loss is not actually a physical cash loss. And real estate professional status means you are offsetting more than just your passive income. You're offsetting all of your income. So for you've got those W-2s and 1099s and business income, your real estate professional status can save your life on the tax
yes.
return.
It is just such a powerful tax strategy to
Mhm.
be able to take those losses and then apply it against your other income, your W-2 income, or your business income, and because otherwise in the tax code those losses are suspended in time.
Yep.
So fine, you'll still eventually be able to tap into them, but as a real estate investor, you want that money now so you can grow
Yeah.
your portfolio, right? Like that is your goal. So that's the most powerful thing about the real estate professional status. Yeah.
Okay, great. So I'm going to let you take us into a demo of Reps Tracker.
Yes.
So
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and let you share your screen.
Okay. Hold on. Just give me 1 second.
No problem. So for those of you out there while Kirsten is getting ready, Reps Tracker has been a godsend because it allows you to upload files. I mean, emails, screenshots, PDFs, JPEGs, any documentation you have. And it has such an array of categories that you can find a lot of what you need to say in the actual drop-down menus. You can put your own description. You can be as detailed as possible. This is like, what we teach in the academy, Kirsten, to be audit preventative, right?
Yes.
To be your own auditor when you're doing your taxes. And so, here is Reps Tracker. So Kirsten, I'll let you go ahead and walk through it.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go back to this. Okay. So when you first sign in, and this is obviously the desktop version, so it's a little bit, it's the format's going to be different depending on what size you're on. And then we really wanted, our focus was for investors to be able to use this on their mobile version. So on either, iPads or their phones, so that it can really be an on-the-go strategy. Because unlike those other systems that are really not amenable to like on-the-go contemporaneous time tracking, this was a really important thing. So right now I'm toggled over to the short-term rental side, which we can talk about a little bit more later. But right now I'm gonna toggle back over to this long-term rental side. So and here is what your dashboard will look like. So I'm going to back up and talk about these like metrics here, the 750, this 500, this 250. Now, one of the qualifications or one of the rules for declaring real estate professional status is that you must show at least 750 hours of real estate activities in a fiscal year. So January 1st to December 31st. Of those hours, so this is not in addition to, this is kind of broken up into these two categories. At least 500 must be material participation hours. And what that means is those real estate activities that you're showing must be spent on your own properties, your own rental properties. And then 250 of those can be more general hours. Now I'm going to back up and say that this is sometimes a gray area with depending on what CPAs you talk to. And so I have had some CPAs say to be really careful, you should be going above and beyond this 500 material hours.
Always,
so,
yeah.
Yeah. So my disclaimer is that I am not a CPA. So this is all information that's gathered from several different CPAs that we've helped to vet the way that we've put all of this into our interface. So these material hours, so this is the dashboard that you'll ultimately be referring to. And what we wanted to show is like, when you log on, you just get a quick like, oh crap, it's like March 1st and I've only got 25 reps hours, like time to like do something, buy a property and renovate it. Like, who knows? You don't want the tax tail to wag the dog. So you still got to make some good decisions here with your investment properties, but you do have, as the investor, you do have control over, how active you are in your own properties.
That's right.
So this should be like a wake up moment if you're signing into this in the middle of the year and you're only seeing 25 reps hours.
Right.
So the way that when you initially log on, you want to add all of your properties. These are made up properties. So in case anybody actually owns this, I'm not, don't worry, I'm not trying to take over your property. I just picked random
reps hours for somebody else's property.
Yes. So you want to enter all your properties in here, and that will give you a really easy way. And I'll show you how this adds into the when you're adding an entry. So you want to enter all your properties. Pretty easy to do. It's like one of those it'll self-auto. Yeah. It'll give you your place in Vietnam too, but obviously that's probably not where you're investing if you're doing real estate professional status. And if later on you want to go back and you want to like call it something else, you can always edit it too. So okay, so then whenever you want to add an entry, and I am also going to say that please try to add your entries as real time as possible. So,
so you don't forget anything.
Yes, because as we all know, memory starts to like, slip a little bit. And then like, it's hard for me to even remember what I did last week. So if you can do it, to the moment is wonderful. If you can do it at the end of the day, great. But the IRS does say that this should be, contemporaneous tracking. So you don't want to go back after an audit.
Available on your phone. So wherever you are, you can go ahead and log.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. There shouldn't be any excuse. So, just take that information as however you want to take it. So you can take the date. We recently added a timer function because our users were really asking us to do this. So, in Reps Tracker, we've done quite a number of iterations since we launched in, I believe it was March of last year. Was our launch. So every time that I start getting, a number of emails of people asking for different features, we'll put that on our wish list and do different iterations as we go along. So we recently added this timer function where you can toggle over. And so I'll do one with a timer function. So let's say we're doing material participation. So something that we are doing an activity that on our particular property. So let's say we're doing some property improvements and maybe we are performing repairs ourselves. Then you can pick your property from this drop-down menu that pulls in from the properties that you've already inputted. And in material participation, it is really important to put the property that you're doing the work on. And so keeping in mind that everything that we have here in these drop-down menus and kind of leading you through it are things that the IRS would ask for in the case of an audit. So these are important things to fill out. So if you're performing a repair, please say which property you're performing the repair on. Being as detailed as possible. So like hammering the sink, who knows? Whatever. Okay. And then
I just beat it with a hammer in case
whatever.
Yeah.
And then you can actually click to upload. I won't do that right now because it'll pull up all my files. And
Right.
so, but you can click to upload any files that you want, and also
Email,
screenshots,
invoice,
yes,
screenshots,
yes,
conversations. I screenshot a lot of my conversations with my vendors, contractors, people who work for me. I have
yes,
a snow removal guy. We text, we don't email. I mean, it's ridiculous to just go and email every time it's
yeah.
gonna snow. I screenshot it, I upload it into my reps tracker. So what are some, do you have any reporting, like a yearly or annual report that you print out from reps tracker?
Good question. So I'm going to cancel this. And so once you have, and tell me if this kind of answers your question here. So once you've added all of your logs, we do encourage people at the end of the year to export their data. And so all of your logs will be here. And, like for me, I actually use Reps Tracker personally, obviously, because I invented it because it filled a need for myself. So for me, at the end of last year, I could scroll down this list, like keep on scroll.
And you can filter by property and things of that nature.
Yeah. So then you can export this data, and it'll actually just export a CSV file for you right there. And it's, because I'm sharing my screen. Oh, this is going to look a little messy here.
That's okay.
Don't look at my screen. Very messy.
So then you'll have a file that looks,
yes,
much like
yes,
Excel, and you can save it as Excel, I'm sure.
Yes, exactly. It's a CSV file, so you can absolutely save it as Excel for sure.
Okay, and I love that last column that it says evidence.
Yes.
I'm an auditor. I love good receipts. I love evidence. Yes. And it pulls it right up.
Okay, just keep in mind that this is not actually my reps.
Right. Don't upload your certificates, guys, unless it's a real estate course. And that would go in general activity. So let's talk about short-term versus long-term, because short-term rentals, you do not have to meet the over 50% of work-related activities in real estate rule, which is a huge deal.
Yeah.
Right. For all of us full-time workers, if you have Airbnb property, right? And you don't need to have 10 of them. You can have one, right?
Yeah.
You can have from 1 to 5 to 10 to 20, as long as you meet the requirements. So a lot of times as full-time workers, or not us 9-to-5ers, we have short-term rentals, and you can meet real estate professional status and offset all of your income. So long-term rentals is not the only way to go. And Kirsten, I'll go ahead and assume that you make sure you toggle to the left where it says short-term rental. To enter in those properties that are short-term rentals.
Exactly. Yeah. And yeah, you called it. It's just as powerful as a tax saving strategy in the short-term rental realm, but because you don't have to meet that requirement of doing more hours than your 9-to-5 or W-2 job.
Right.
This really brings in a lot more investors that are able to take advantage of this strategy.
And it really does break a barrier, because it is hard if you're working, say, 40 hours a week, and if if you are, I mean, I'm not going to say it's impossible to actually spend more than 50% of your time in real estate activities. If you do have a 40-hour work week, you just won't get any sleep. And
Yes.
you'll have to do some serious long-term rental documentation. Like it would have to be so, just expansive that
Yes.
if somebody did pull your return, they'd have to say, wow, you really did sleep 3 hours a night,
Yes.
because you really did show that you spent more hours in real estate activities than you did, say, working at your desk job. Maybe you're a secretary, maybe you're an accountant, maybe
Mhm.
whatever have you. You'd have to prove it. So I will say, I want to reiterate this. The law does not say as a full-time worker you cannot be a real estate professional. It's just that it's very difficult to prove that you spent more than 50% of your time in real estate activities. So if you are a full-time worker, and full-time technically in the United States is 30 hours, starting at 30 hours a week. If you are and you can prove it, say you are, and I always encourage people, go ahead and document, because you never know. You might actually have ended up spending more time for whatever reason. The seasons change, you had a lot of snow, we had a lot of flooding over here in the Northeast. You may have had to supervise, stay home from work, or even while you're at work, working from home, supervise somebody, taking care of mold or flooding. So even if you're not sure and you have a 9 to 5, I would go ahead and document my hours, because you just never know what may come of it. You may actually be able to prove that you spent more time in real estate than you did at your 9 to 5, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I mean, I absolutely agree. I mean, a year is a long time. We all know a lot of stuff can happen in the course of a year. So why not set yourself up just in case?
You never know. Yeah, it could save your tax return, you never know. So yeah, I think the short-term rental is a really good option. I just also like to tell people, it doesn't mean if you are a full-time worker that you can't claim it. It just means you got to work a little harder at proving it. And that means, like you said, being detailed, uploading everything, the time, and everything has to come together and make sense. And that's what this tool is for. And this tool is a godsend, because I teach my students, prior to this, use Excel, and keep your folder separate on your computer.
Mhm.
Which, is kind of outdated, but that's what most CPAs will tell you, most accountants will tell you, because Excel is easy to access, right? And there was no tool out here which you created to fill the need. So I want to encourage everybody to please, 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 if you are a real estate investor, if you're thinking about it, if you've already invested, go ahead and sign up for RepsTracker. Please input all your stuff to date. Do not wait until June to decide you're going to start inputting all your entries and going through emails. Just do it right real time. I do it right away. When I get an email saying, hey, the Department of Buildings is coming out at 1, I get the email, I save it as a PDF, and I go ahead and I upload it, and I document the hours that they're there, and the conversations I have, very, very detailed. So I want to, if you don't have anything else to add, Kirsten, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. But
yes, absolutely.
Kirsten Limmer, she is not a CPA. She is a molecular biologist / MD, and a real estate professional, a real estate investor of many, 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 many years. And so she has filled a need, and guys, this is an awesome tool. So yeah, just go to repstracker.com and sign up. And if you use the promo code Moneynista, you get 10% off. Go to www.themoneynista.com. Go ahead and click the RepsTracker link. All right. I want to thank you, Kristen, for giving us time.
Thank you. So nice to be
background. And Kirsten is here for all of us. So I'll see you guys later.